Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Steve again, Harmless Rebel. Time for another video. It's going to be a what's spinning. I bought those tapes that I showed in my Florida dig video, and I was going to play those. I started playing some other tapes. I actually never got to any of the ones that I bought in Florida, but I did play some cool stuff. I had also gotten a tape in right around that time. So I spent the last couple days just pulling out some tapes that I hadn't listened to in a while, and a couple that I had never listened to before, including the one that's playing in the background right now. This is Flight, and this is a 2015. I think this is a 2016. And the album was released in 2015, and 2016 they released the a limited edition cassette, which I believe there were 100 of. It also came with a patch, a triangle, upside down triangle shaped patch with the logo and whatnot on it. Very cool. Really good new wave of traditional metal. They have a new album that just came out that I haven't checked out yet, but I've heard good things about it, so I'm looking forward to that. So the tape that, other than the ones I bought that got me in this kind of tape playing mood, was this one. It's called Midnight Dice. Again, new wave of traditional metal. This is their demo, just came out. Pretty good. It's not great. It's good though. I was expecting more just because of the people that are in the band. So I actually pulled this out too. This is the Satan's Hollow EP, or I'm sorry, demo. And so Midnight Dice is 4 members of Satan's Hollow. Satan's Hollow broke up shortly after they released their album, their full length last year. One of the members left, and I guess they decided, I don't know if he owned the rights to the name or what happened, but they changed the name to Midnight Dice. Still the same singer, so if you were a fan of her, she's still around. I just don't think that this is as good as the stuff on the Satan's Hollow demo or album. I do look forward to checking out a full length. It may just be this. And I'll give this a few more spins to see if it grows on me. Like I said, though, it's good. And if you're not familiar with Satan's Hollow, you'll probably really like this. I just think that the Satan's Hollow is a little bit better. So still recommend picking this one up. The first pressings of Satan's Hollow go for 30, 40 bucks. This one's a second pressing. And if this gets as popular, it may be exactly the same. But again, I think this was a limited pressing too. It's done by Hoofchild Records, who's one of the members of both of these bands. However, he's already sold out. I had to buy this through Shadow Kingdom. I can't remember exactly who showed this. Somebody on the VC showed this to me, and I went out and ordered it right away. So let's see. Next up, I pulled out one of my favorites. This is one of the best new wave of traditional metal bands out there. They're so good. They released this on cassette and a real limited run on CD. I think it was 100. Is it 100? Hang on. It's numbered. Yeah, 100 cassettes and 100 CDs. By the time I was turned on to this band, the CDs were already sold out. I got a hold of the guys from the band, a couple different guys from the band, to see if they had any copies floating around that they hadn't sold yet, and they did. They did. One of the band members said he didn't even have a copy for himself. So this is an amazing album, though, or an amazing demo. I highly recommend picking this one up. And last year, towards the end of the year, they had a full length come out. I don't have it yet. It was not released on vinyl. It's only on CD, but I will be grabbing that pretty soon too. But Old Wolf. Just an amazing band. Let's see. Next up was Oblong Box. I think I bought this the same time I bought the Old Wolf. That Old Wolf I've had for a couple of years. Actually, the rest of these, I don't think any of the rest of these are new. This is all just stuff I pulled out to listen to again. But at the same time I bought the Old Wolf, I bought this. This is a band called Oblong Box. I believe this was a 2010 or 2011 demo. It doesn't say anywhere on the cassette. This is all this band ever released. They ended up going their own direction. The guitar player and the lead singer of this band went on to be the guitar player for Zool. I think Zool has since broken up as well, and he is now the touring guitar player for High Spirits. And if you've heard me over the years talk about High Spirits, are one of my favorite bands. This one, real good guitar work. It's hard to describe. His vocals, they say it's a mix of death metal, black metal, thrash, and traditional metal. I think they're just throwing shit out there to try to get the stick. He's got a light death metal type vocal. It's more on the thrash side, but the music itself is traditional metal. There's only 2 songs on here with vocals. Really good demo though. You can get this for $3 or $4. This is not an expensive one. So if you're a fan of Zool, you may want to check this one out. I dig it. Let's see. Next up was was the heavy metal mixtape. So I've actually had this since it came out. It has since sold out. I've had this for about 2 years, and I just opened it yesterday. I had never listened to it. The reality is, over half the songs on this, I have the full-length album from the artist. But this is the guys from Night Demon. They decided a couple years ago to put together this heavy metal mixtape. And man, they just did a killer job. It's some of the best bands out there, both old and new. It's got Night Demon, Riot, Blade Killer, Bat, Raven, Spellcaster, Hyrax, Satan's Hollow, Still Prophet, Savage Master, Visigoth, let's see, Voltaire, Hessian, and that's about half of them. There's even more than that. Really cool though. I really dig this. I love everything about the way they did it. The inside, they've got a little bit of information on each of the bands. They got a real nice mixtape style insert there, and just a really cool hand-drawn cover. And the sound quality is killer. It's it's great songs from all of these great bands. Like I said, this is sold out, and they're going for a little bit of money now. I think the cheapest one I saw was like $20, but just a really solid album, and definitely one worth having. Now, when this came out, they had said, their website said soon to come Mixtape Volume 2, which was supposed to be all Canadian metal bands. And I don't know what happened with that. If you go, the website is still there. It still says coming soon, but it said that for 2 years. So I'm not sure if that mixtape is ever coming out. I hope it does. Next up, I pulled this one out. This is another one that I hadn't opened yet. This is Metallica live at Festival Hall, Osaka, Japan, November 18th, 1986. This is literally, I don't even think this was a month after. It may have been right at a month after Cliff Burton died. Because I want to say he died in, I guess it was a little over a month. He died in August, I believe. Anyway, this is one of the first shows with Jason Newsted on bass. You can tell they haven't quite bonded it perfectly yet. It's not. I've got other stuff from this period with Jason Newsted and with Cliff Burton, and those recordings all sound much better than this one. It just doesn't seem like the band had completely gelled yet. Jason Newsted wasn't. They just weren't gelling yet. It's probably the easiest way of putting it. And I have heard one from like December, so like a month after this work, that was really good. So still, this was definitely worth picking up. This is from, I think, 2017. Yeah, 2017. This was for Tape Store Day. And very cool. Definitely worth having in the collection. And then that led me to pull this one out. I hadn't listened to this in at least a year. This is the No Life Till Leather Record Store Day cassette. Still disappointed that, when they released this, they said that they would be getting deluxe CD treatment and it would be getting a box set just like the other box sets. And unfortunately, Lars and Dave Mustaine have been disputing over who wrote a couple of the tracks. So I think it was Mechanics is the main one that they're disputing. Dave Mustaine said that he wrote the whole song, and I guess Lars is saying that he helped write it and he wants credits too. So, you know, hopefully they work that out. But regardless, I love this EP, or I'm sorry, I love this demo. I love the early, faster version. And actually, it's funny, a couple of these songs, they play faster on this demo. They slowed it down for the albums, but a lot of times when you hear it live, they play them just as fast as they did here. Really dig it, though. And you can really hear, if you're really familiar with Mustaine's guitar tone compared to Hammett's tone, you can really hear the difference. He's got a slightly different guitar tone that I like a little bit better than Kurt Hammett's, but still very cool. And you can still pick those up for a decent price. I want to say they're like 20-25 bucks if I remember correctly. I don't remember what they were new, 10 or 11 bucks, but you know, Metallica stuff just goes for crazy money always. Ended up pulling out a couple others. Pulled out Sublime. This was another Record Store Day release. This is the Jah Won't Pay the Bills demo. Pretty cool. I love Sublime. I love everything they did with Bradley Nowell. Don't care about anything they did after that, but I was a big Bradley Nowell fan. Pretty disappointed by his death. Still kicking myself. Because I did have an opportunity to see them right before he died at the first. They were one of the top acts at the first. Can't think of the name of it now. That big punk festival that the guys from NoFX and Bad Religion pretty much started. Anyway, a buddy of mine had tickets for me. I don't remember what happened. I decided not to go, and shortly after that, he ended up ODing. So. Went from there, took it a little different direction, ended up pulling out the Church Seance. I'm a big fan of this band, and this is my favorite album from them, which is kind of funny because most people list this as their worst album, which I've never gotten. I get why Starfish is popular and why that's their big band, or their big album. This came out much earlier. Starfish, I think it was 88. This is 83, before they really got big here in the U.S. With this, they were part of they called it the neo psychedelic movement. I've never thought they were very psychedelic. This is very much a crossing of oh man, there's a little bit of power pop here, definitely some dream pop, kind of mixed in with a little bit of not new wave, but post-punk to it. Kind of the direction that The Cure would go. I really love this album. I would love to find this on vinyl, but pressings go for they get pretty expensive, and they're pretty hard to find. But that's The Church. And speaking of The Cure, after listening to that, it made me want to listen to The Cure. This is actually my favorite album from The Cure. This is Faith. This is the double version that's also got Carnage visors on the back of it. But Faith is just such a great album that you never really hear anybody talk about. This came out right before Photograph, and this sound is kind of what led to the sound that they of Photograph. But highly recommend checking this one out. That's another one that's hard to find on an original pressing on vinyl, and they usually go for 30-40 bucks. From there, went with, what was this one? Guardians of the Galaxy. This is Mix Volume 1. I love that they released these on cassette. I still need to find Volume 2. I saw Volume 2 everywhere on vinyl when it was released, but I didn't see the cassette anywhere like this one. This one I saw, I pretty much every store I went to had 1 or 2 copies of this for like $8-10 bucks, and it's really good quality. I'm hoping to find that second one, though. I think it would be cool to have the second one as well. And then last but not least is An Act of Goddo. Goddo is just really good 70s hard rock. This one was 79. This is the third album from Goddo, Canadian band. If you're into 70s hard rock at all, any of the albums from Goddo are definitely worth having. This one is killer. That's it, guys. Just wanted to do a quick what's spinning. I will I'll see you soon. Take care.